Hello, Wealthy Wives and Friends. It's Cindy Sofia, author of Wealthy Wife, Meeting, Dating, and Marrying a Rich Man. How are you doing today, my wealthy wives and friends? I hope all is well. For those of you up north, I hope you're staying warm. Like I said, today is kind of a gray, overcast day down here in South Florida, which means it's got to be freezing and doing something crazy up north. It's kind of crazy how everything is interconnected, right? It's very interesting. Anyway, today I want to talk about some things that are going on here at Wealthy Wife. And just share some stories with you guys because I'll say this again, I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I am so happy and thrilled by this because it gives me the chance to meet such a wide range of women. Everywhere from teenagers, like 18, 19, into their 60s, and everybody in between. So the message that I'm sharing with all of you guys, I had no idea it was going to have such a wide market and such a wide appeal to so many different women. So once again, I thank you guys for allowing me to share my wisdom with you. And for those of you that are taking it and running with it, either that, through listening to the videos and taking information from there and utilizing it, if you're coming in through, like I said, some of the online academy courses, if you are actually participating with me in the 6-week teleconference series, which, by the way, the Courtesan Mindset is going to be starting up again on February 2nd. I'll tell you guys more about that here shortly, because I really am loving doing the 6-week teleconference, the masterclasses. It's amazing. I mean, the interaction with my students, the what they're learning and how they're progressing and how their minds are opening up and they're finding ways to utilize information that I'm sharing with them is outstanding. So if those of you have been thinking about working with me, but you're not quite ready for private coaching, I do recommend the 6-week master classes. It's really, really good stuff. And not coming just from me, I will be posting testimonials, excuse me, as I'm receiving them. But before I get started, let's go ahead and do our mantra because I like that. And I know some of you actually enjoy it as well. So let's go ahead and do our mantra. You guys, if you've been with me long enough, you know the drill. Make sure you are sitting someplace and you are comfortable and you're relaxed. And I want to make sure your shoulders are relaxed, you're breathing easily. Make sure your face is relaxed, jaw is relaxed, no tension in your face. And I want you to take a deep breath with me, breathing in. Breathing out. And say it with me. I am a wealthy wife. I am a wealthy wife. And I am a wealthy wife. Now, once again, take a deep breath, breathing in. And let it go. And once again, keeping your breath easy, breathing very easy, relaxed, as you allow that statement to become your personal truth. Like I said, guys, this is big. Like I said, for those of you that I'm actually talking to, like I said, through emails or, who are those of your students of mine, knowing that the information I share is enabling you and causing you to allow yourself to say that statement and mean it. You guys don't understand. There is a ton of wealth out there. Ton. Is it easily accessible to the masses? Of course not. Of course not, because the masses, you guys, if you spend time on social media going through the feeds, you see how they talk about people that have accomplished things. The masses are like rabid dogs when it comes to the people that are wealthy and accomplished, because they resent their accomplishments, they resent their wealth, they just resent, which is so stupid, because here's the thing. If somebody has done it, that means you can do it too. Most people acquire wealth through their own blood, sweat, and tears. Like I said, there is so much new money out there right now, your head would fall off if you knew how much is sitting out there that has been created. Men, women, couples, whatever. That never changes. I don't care what the condition of the economy is. If you follow this stuff the way I have, I've been studying wealth for many, many years. And of course, my mentors, my boyfriends, my fiancés, whatever. I've learned quite a bit with all of them. But most money is made when people are crying broke. When the stock market crashed in 1929, that's when some people became very wealthy and rich because they understood that during those times of crisis, there are great opportunities because people are panicking and losing their minds and giving away their stuff basically, or sometimes losing their stuff, unfortunately. And also during those times, people become entrepreneurs because they may have lost their job, and instead of crying about the fact that they can't, they have no work, they create something. They find a way to solve a problem. That's what everything is, guys. Just so you know, that's what all business is. It's solving a problem. What I do here at Wealthy Wife in my other business is I solve problems. Be that, and in my case, it's mostly mindset. It is about learning how to change your mind and stop thinking like a broke person or a middle class person and allowing yourself to actually stop being average and ordinary and take on the skill set you need to learn to actually be extraordinary. Like I said, guys, everything I do, I told you guys, this is my life. I'm not teaching it from some rarefied place. I'm not teaching you guys information just from books. Yes, some of the stories I share are information I've read about historical women. But a good chunk of what I share with you guys is from my own life experiences and the experience of the clients that I have. Like I said, I'm not teaching you theory. I'm not teaching you second-hand information. I am teaching you from inside the trenches, so to speak. It's not hearsay that I share with you guys. When I do talk about women, some of the affluent women that I do admire, and like I said, some of them are not popular with the masses because, once again, the masses are so busy worrying about what she may have done before, not thinking about what she's doing now. Don't worry about a person's past. And I use Marjorie Harvey for that example because people are always coming after her about her history. Who gives a fuck about who she married, who she dated, who she had babies with, what she did, what their occupation was? Who she may have been in the past. Marjorie Harvey is a smart woman. Let's be very clear. She's a very, very smart woman. She's a very savvy woman. And if women would stop worrying about what she did, courtesy of hearsay, because some of the stories out there about her, because I've read interviews by her and Steve that totally contradict the information that's being shared by the masses, because people talk shit that don't know shit about anything, but they talk shit, and because it sounds good to the masses will believe it. If you do not do your personal research on things, it's easy to lead you astray. Easy. And for me, I'm never satisfied with just believing what the population says. I've never been. Even as a kid, someone would tell me something going, that doesn't even sound right, or it just didn't sit right with me. I'd go investigate and look into things. So you better believe I still do my research now when I'm talking about various things I talk about. But I use her for the example today because I'll guarantee you there'll be this one person that doesn't like the doggone video, because whenever I talk about her, I always get at least one thumbs down, which cracks me up. Because once again, people don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her for real. They don't. It's hearsay. Lots of rumors, lots of gossip. But my point of this conversation is, once again, don't worry about her damn past. Think about what she has accomplished thus far. Let's look at it. And I use her once again as my example because I love her branding. Like I said, Kim Kardashian. I once again, I look at this from a business woman point of view. I look at this from the point of view of an affluent woman. I look at this from the space of women who specialize in being women. Very feminine women. Because for some reason, people still think when you put the word feminine with woman, it means we're stupid. And we're weak and we just, we don't accomplish much because, she's so feminine, she's so girly, she's so this. Just because we wear that persona, because that is who we are, it doesn't mean that we are not smart. It has nothing to do with the fact that we're incapable of doing things. Because you know what? When you sit in that space of the feminine, when you honor who you are as a woman, when you honor your womanhood, okay, and understand what all that mysticism and magic is that goes with being a woman, you will stop letting people try to pull the wool over your eyes and try to cheat you out of what is really yours as a woman. We're powerful. People try to hide that from you. People try to not have done their damnedest over thousands of years to convince women that you're second-class citizens, you're nothing, you're weak, you're that. I saw something on Instagram about educating a woman would cause her to become infertile because it would take energy away from the blood supply, away from her ovaries and reproductive system, and it would make her brain too big. So basically, if we were reading, we'd all walk around looking like a bunch of gray aliens, these big-ass heads, right? If that were the truth, my head would be like the size of the planet, all right? If that were true, because I'm always reading. Like I said, I learned to read when my father taught me to read when I was 3. I've been reading since I was a toddler. That's the truth. So if that was the case, man, we'd be rolling my head around a wheelbarrow. But I'm just saying, so all this stuff is being perpetuated by men that is 100%, not 100%, but have so many women that get behind the men sharing this bullshit about us. And it's so crazy. And the reason why it's done is because there are women that understand how powerful we are, and they don't want us to be powerful because it takes away from their agendas. The feminist movement. Yeah, I said it. Because that's a crock of shit, just so you know. Because once again, guys, I'm old enough to have seen a lot of moving parts in that movement and to see the destruction that is created in reference to relationships with men. It has been destructive in reference to women's health and well-being. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there that's propaganda. I guess when I got 20-somethings trying to convince me, when I tell them I'm not a feminist and trying to convince me why I should be, I'm like, baby girl, you don't know nothing about life right now. I've been here long enough to see that progress. I've seen what has happened. Yes, do I love the fact that women are out there doing more if I understand that, are taking back our capacity? I do. But do I like the fact that we've done it in a way of being more masculine? I hate it. Because I've seen what it has done to us and what it is still doing to us. Like I said, women aren't able to be in a healthy relationship with men because they're so caught up in being feminist. I don't need a man. Okay, baby girl, you're not going to have one then. You're right, you don't. You're never going to have one. Or if they do find one, they find some beta man who has no balls. And then they're crying because he's got no backbone. Well, you didn't want a man with backbone because you wanted to be the man. See, you can't have it both ways, ladies. You're either going to learn how to be a feminine woman that learns how to work in the complementary position with a man so that a masculine man can come in and assist you and provide for you and protect you and cherish you and do the things that a man's supposed to do in reference to us because that brings him joy, because in that space of us being happy brings him happiness. And then we are in that safe space that we actually go out there and create and multiply and do the things that we do. Because, by the way, ladies, we are the source of multiplication. We are the source of abundance. We are the source of prosperity. When we understand how to truly embrace our feminine nature. Like I said, guys, there's so much stuff I could teach you. I swear to God, I just don't have enough time in this lifetime to go through all of it. I'll be honest with you. There's so much stuff that I know. So much stuff that I know. And I think about how they have shared historical figures with you guys, and they've got the story so mangled up and twisted and so wrong about historical women. And we're talking about Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. I could go through a whole list of them, guys. I could. Where they have told you things that are totally inaccurate about them. But because they've been told through the eyes of usually Caucasian males who do their best, once again, to try to keep women in their place. Because if you go and look at the history of African nations, if you look at the history of, especially the continent of Africa, women were rulers, they were empresses, they were queens, they were pharaohs. Yes, Cleopatra was not the only female pharaoh. She was the last female pharaoh, just so you know. But I can count at least 7 before her. There are at least 7 female pharaohs, and there's a good chance that even King Tut's mother probably was pharaoh, because they're figuring that Nefertiti didn't disappear. Yeah. They kind of figured that she just kind of picked up where Akhenaten left off. And there's a good chance because there was a woman, because when they're going through the hieroglyphs and going through names, her name shows up. I can't think of her other name right now. I apologize. But there's a good chance, and I'm sure as they continue to explore this, there's a good chance that she actually was in the space of a pharaoh. Either in conjunction with King Tut, which we know he didn't live very long. He died young, and after King Tut. So there's a good chance his mother was also a pharaoh when they all went back to, the original space of where, I can't even think of the name of the place, and I apologize. But anyway, there's a good chance that she was also a pharaoh. So once again, when you learn how to study our history, and when you stop letting other people tell you about our damn history, and you take the initiative to learn it, you'll discover that we have been doing phenomenal things since the beginning of time. We have. I told you guys, I've done a whole thing on Esther and Ruth. And the whole meet your Boaz thing. I saw something on some website that some man is doing. Looks like his information is pretty good. I'd even go into something about meet your Boaz. And I already know if he's teaching it from the bullshit way most people teach the whole Boaz and Ruth story, I'm like, man, they're going to mess women up again. Because women are still trying to wait for their Boaz. I'll say it again. Ruth and Naomi set Boaz up. They had to find a husband because in their culture, a woman without the protection of a man was a sitting duck. She was broke. She had a good chance of going hungry. They were just not a good situation back in their times, especially to be without the protection in the household of the masculine. So when they were heading back to, like I said, I don't remember the city offhand where they went to after they left, after all their husbands had all passed away. But when they were going back, like I said, Naomi was going through her Rolodex in her brain, thinking about what relatives did her deceased husband have that she could find to put Ruth in front of. Naomi knew she couldn't do it. Naomi was an older woman. She was past that particular age, but Ruth was still young, beautiful, and still fertile. So, they believe me, they were plotting. They didn't wait for Boaz to happen. Like I said, guys, go back and read the story with your eyes open. Don't just let your pastors tell you what that story is about because they tell it wrong. And trust me, they've been watering that story down too in the Bible as much as they can. But go back and read it. They very specifically targeted Boaz. Naomi was the coach, and Ruth was the player. And they did it beautifully. Just saying. That's what I'm saying. So when you understand to quit allowing people to tell you about your worthlessness as a woman and making you act more mannish, and you start understanding how to reclaim your femininity and your truth as a woman, that's when you become a powerful woman. That's when you become a Michelle Obama. That's when you become a Marjorie Harvey. That's when you come, and like I said, you may like some of these women. That's entirely up to you. That's when you become a Meghan Markle. That's when you become a Savannah James. That's when you become, oh gosh, I can go through the whole list. A lot of people, because even Jada Pinkett Smith, she had to realize that she had to pull herself back and finally learn how to be comfortable in that space of the feminine, because she was a little masculine fireball when she first met Will, and they had issues. But they grew together, and she finally understood how to relax and allow Will to step up and be that man in the relationship. And he loves, adores, and supports her through whatever she's doing, and vice versa. So you guys tell me you want to be these wealthy wives, you want to be with these affluent men, and you're terrified. I get that. I mean, these are honest conversations I have with women. They're terrified. Because once again, most of you have never been in the space where you've enjoyed the company of a truly masculine man that wants to step up and be there for you. I'm going to use the example again of when I went to, right after my father passed away. And I was laughing because a friend of mine was reminding me of this. We were talking about something, just having a phenomenal conversation. But we're talking about the feminine energy, and when you really embrace your femininity and you really are just have that presence about you that draws men to you. And she was saying, you remember, you were about Starbucks right after your father passed away. I go, yeah. And I know I told this story in a prior audio / video, but I'm going to tell it again because this, once again, is about when you understand and really are honestly in that feminine energy. When you are honestly, and it's just how you live and breathe, because this is who I am. This is not a fake aspect of me. This is who I am. So my presence always comes off as very feminine. I love being a woman. I love it. I kid you guys not. I would want to be nothing else but a woman. I love it. But anyway, I'll retell the story. A couple of days after my father passed away, I, trying to make arrangements, do things I had to do. out of my brain, to put it mildly. I mean, just devastated, devastated, devastated. And I had some paperwork I had to have signed. I need a witness. So one of my best friends, I call her my sister, one of my sisters, was going to meet me at a Starbucks. Not even my usual Starbucks. This is how crazy this story is. This episode, it's not even a story. It's something that happened. This incident was. So we're meeting at a Starbucks, not even my Starbucks. It's out in her neighborhood. And as I'm standing in line, and once again, guys, I told you, I don't spend my time getting all dolled up. I always look beautiful. I always look very feminine. The whole essence of who I am is very sensuous anyway. So I don't have to really do a whole lot to be feminine, because I live and breathe it. But anyway, standing there, tank top, pair of hair and pants, my hair and pants, I got my jewelry on. Of course, I smell amazing because I won't leave the house not smelling great. Hair, I believe it was in a bob at that particular time, so it was more straight, but still big. I wear big. I have big hair. Anyway, I'm standing in line, and like I said, sad. Just my energy, I know, it was not the greatest. And as I'm standing there about to order coffee, this older gentleman, Jewish gentleman, walks up next to me. And I was about to place an order for my coffee. He says, "You can put my coffee on her order." I go, "That's not how you do this." And he starts laughing. And something happened. The person got sidetracked. So I looked at the man, and he says, "You look awfully sad." I go, "Yeah, my dad just passed away." He goes, "I'm sorry to hear that." And he smiles at me. He goes, "I can be your daddy." And I look at him. He goes, "Not like your father was." He goes, "I mean, no disrespect to your father." He goes, "But I could be your daddy." And I'm like, I just looked at him, right? Because I'm just like, I'm off in the twilight zone. And I just looked at him, and I'm like, "Okay." I go, "You be my daddy." He's like, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." I go, "By the way, by this time I placed my order." And I look at him, I go, "What is your name?" Because even in my state of grief, I'm still social. I'm still, I'm still a courteous person. And he goes, "They call me Sugar." And I kind of laughed. I go, "They call you Sugar?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Huh." I go, "Okay, that's interesting." Okay, now some of you have already, the light bulb has gone off in your head, but save it so we can reveal it to the rest of them. So once again, I'm still standing there. So as I move to get my coffee, now because apparently I'm not registered, it's not registered in my brain what he's saying, because here's what he was saying. For those of you that got it, bravo, you picked up on it immediately. For those of you that are like I was, standing in line, he was trying to tell me that he could be my sugar daddy. Yeah. I wasn't registering that. So what happened was, finally, because he kept telling me, he goes, "You're so beautiful." He goes, "You got this really classic beauty." He goes, "You remind me of some of my favorite, movie stars, back in the day, like Dorothy Dandridge," because he's older. Some of these women, he goes, he thought were very, very beautiful. He goes, "Diane Carey," goes, "You're just so beautiful." He goes, "Such a classic beauty." I'm like, "Thank you." So finally, we're walking to go get my coffee, and he finally stops me. And he goes, and he turns me around, and he looks me dead in the eye. And now there's no joking now. He's serious. He goes, "Let me explain to you what I'm trying to say to you." He looks me dead in the eye. He goes, "What I'm telling you is this." He goes, "If you will let me, if you will spend time with me," he goes, "I will sign over my houses to you." He goes, "You will go on my life insurance policies." He goes, "My investments are yours." Okay, needless to say, I'm standing, and I know I looked at him, and I'm blinked. I probably blinked 2, 3 times, "Excuse me." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "You're the kind of woman I'm looking for." He goes, "I would gladly, gladly stand in that space of protector for you." I was like, whoa. I'm thinking this in my brain, like, wow. I was like, interesting. Okay. Then I asked him his birthday. Come to find out, he's a Sagittarian like my father. Their birthdays are a couple weeks apart. And I told him, I go, "You know what?" I go, "Obviously," I go, "this is not the time or place to have a discussion about anything." I go, he goes, "I know, I understand." He goes, once again, he goes, "I'm not trying to impose, to be too forward." He goes, "I hope you don't think I'm being too forward." He goes, "I really understand that, you're grieving." He goes, I respect that." I go, "Yeah." I go, it is really hard right now." I go, "But let's do this." I go, "Let's talk later." He goes, "Yeah." He told me he was at this particular Starbucks on a regular basis. By that particular time, my sister had showed up. I go, "My sister's here. I'm going to have a seat and talk to her. I guess I get this paperwork handled." He's like, "Fine." So before he leaves, because she and I are talking now, and before he leaves, he walks over to me, introduces himself to my sister, turns around, looks at me. He goes, "Here's my number." He goes, "Think about what I said." I do hope to see you. And I'm like, okay. So he takes my hand, he kisses my hand, shakes my sister's hand, and he leaves. Now, my sister's looking at me because he left me his phone number. He did not take mine because he goes, you know what? I don't want to impose. He goes, take my number and call me when you feel better. And he walks away, he leaves, and my sister's looking at me, and she's got that look on her face. She goes, what was that about? And I told her what happened in reference, sugar daddy and, turning. And she goes, I can't leave you alone. She goes, even in a state of grief. She goes, I can't leave you alone for 5 minutes. And at this point in time, now we're laughing. She's got me laughing, which was great because I needed to laugh because I was in such a state of mind. But it was so wild because even in that state, I don't know if because believe me, I look fully wounded because I was. Even in my state of mind where I am not remotely trying to flirt, I am not remotely looking to gather any man into my life or men into my life, this man steps up and wants to be my champion. Ladies, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? I wasn't out there trying. I wasn't thinking about meeting anybody. Now, have I spoke to him? No. I'm just finally ready now to actually go. I know where to find this gentleman, and I will go out, probably next month to have a chance to sit down and speak with him again. Now that I'm in a better state mentally, but I'm just saying, when you understand and you exude that feminine energy, when you automatically your presence just makes a man want to just stand up and be a man around you. This kind of stuff happens. And in my life, that happens on a regular basis. Women ask me, how do I get a man to give me money? Or how do I talk to a man about money? I go, you don't. I go, if a man really cares about you, interested in you, wants to keep you around, he's going to ask if he has it. Men with money know they're going to spend money. Let's be clear, they know. And they know women aren't going to be chasing after them for their money. They're not stupid, ladies. Like I said, you don't become a successful businessman running multi-million dollars or become a multi-millionaire or billionaire yourself by being an idiot about people. They know. And I've told you guys in prior audios and videos too, men do these things, create these businesses, accumulate this wealth, buy beautiful homes, drive fancy cars, smell good, look good. It's not for each other. Yeah, they'll hang out together and show off their cars and watches and whatever. They'll bump chests periodically and talk about stuff. But it's not for each other. It's for us. They're not going out right now hunting buffaloes for us. They're not going out and, taking down, protecting the cave from saber-toothed tigers or whatever. They don't do that anymore. So how they represent and show us that they can earn us and they deserve us is by accumulating wealth. So if you have them, and here's the twist, but you need to be a woman that he understands will add value to his life. Some men, like I said, if they're going through that play phase, yeah, they'll throw cash after women. They will. But I got news for you. When they're done playing and they're finally ready to get married or get settled down again, whoever they're chasing around and playing with, she's not the one they're going to marry. So if you have set yourself up to be a rich man's toy, please understand, if you want to switch over and become a rich man's wife, you have to come from a whole new headspace. You have to change a whole lot of shit about you to have a man then be looking at you and your energy to come off as potential wife material. Like I said, it's all well and good. If you're the party girl, I'm serious, that's fine. That's fine. But understand, that is your space. Once again, if your thing is you want to become the wife, long-term girlfriend wife, then you can't be acting like the party girl. The two will never meet. They still have that thing inside their head. They call it the whore Madonna syndrome. Look it up, guys. Whore Madonna syndrome, where they look at some women as their toys, and they look at some women as their mates. It is what it is. Why fight the system? Learn how to play the game. Like I said, you guys, that's what I talk about strategy. Don't fight it. Learn how to work it to your advantage. Like I said, too many of you want to get out there and fight shit. Why are you fighting everything? All it's doing is giving you fibroids and headaches. Stop. Learn the game. Learn the system. Okay? But that's what I'm saying. So if a man really wants to keep you with him, he's going to start asking you, what can he do for you? And I've told women this, and women who, once again, who are successful with affluent men, they will back me up. When I've had marriage proposals, and I've had several, they come to me basically with their portfolio. Yeah. They let me know what they have to offer me. I'm not asking. Because I already know they're going to present it. If they're serious, they're not going to be nitpicking. They're not sitting there fussing and worrying about this and trying to control me and control every dime that they give me. If you run across a man who's tight with his money, let him go. He's not worth the aggravation. Trust me when I say that. He's not worth the aggravation. Because if he is stingy and miserly with his money, there's no growth. There's no peace of mind. There's no way you can be in a healthy, happy relationship with a man because he has issues. Let him go. Because a man who really is into you, well, just to use Steve Harvey and Marjorie again, only because oh my gosh. Oh, I saw this. It was a clip I saw on YouTube. And it's about a teepee. And he was on Ellen. And he was talking about, and she was telling him, she goes, I hear you own a teepee. He goes, yeah, I own a teepee. And she goes, how did you wind up with a teepee? He goes, the grandkids. He goes, those darn grandkids. And I'm paraphrasing the story, but it's a cute story. He was saying that, he goes, my wife Marjorie. He goes, I love Marjorie. But Marjorie, she's over the top. He goes, she is all over the top about the grandkids. You know, she just can't do anything small. So when the kids have parties, he's saying basically, when they have parties and things, she goes all out. So I guess one of the party themes was somehow, some way a teepee was involved. So when the kids' birthdays, had the party, next day, the guy is coming over. He's over by the swimming pool. You know, he's smoking his cigar, and the guy is coming down and start to deconstruct the backyard. And they have a massive backyard. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll see the backyard. And all of a sudden, he hears the kids are screaming bloody murder. He goes, they're just screaming. Scares him, right? Because he thinks something really bad has happened. And he goes running over to see what's wrong with the kids. And they're like, oh, Papa, Papa, he's taking the teepee. He's taking the teepee. Don't let him take the teepee. Papa, don't let him take the teepee. And they're spazzing out, right? I mean, they're just like at like frantic, crazy mode. And he's like, man, dude. He's like, kids, quiet down. Calm down. He's like, man, would you stop taking down the teepee? He goes, do you hear these kids? He goes, they're losing their minds. He goes, stop. And the guy's like, he goes, taking everything. He goes, I have to take down the teepee. He goes, well, you know what? Do that last. Because he was hoping the kids would be back in the house by the time the guy started on the teepee again. So the guy goes off to take down, deconstruct some other stuff in the yard. Steve goes back. He's sitting down once again, starting to smoke his cigar. He's smoking a cigar, and then the screams again happen. The kids are screaming once again, scared the crap out of him. So they started him so bad he dropped the cigar in the pool. And now he once again rushes back over where the kids are, and the guy has put everything else away. He only has a teepee left. And the kids are once again, Papa, please, don't let him take the teepee, Papa. And I mean, they're just bawling and crying and screaming. They're hysterical. And finally he says, man, stop taking down the teepee. The man he goes, but I got to take it back. He goes, man, how much is the teepee? He goes, it's $8,500. Steve was like, what? He goes, for a teepee? He's like, yeah. He goes, so guess what? He goes, I own an $8,500 teepee. But I was laughing because that's how much a man will do for his family when he loves his family. And Steve loves Marjorie, like I said, and you can tell the times she irritates him, because you can hear interviews sometimes where he is irritated with her because she is so over the top. She's a Libra, so she's built to be. She's made for over the top. It's just they love luxury. That's who they are. That's part of they're Venus. They're Venus's babies. Venus, Taurus, and Libras. Venus's babies. So they love massive luxury and opulence. But even those times when you hear that irritation in his voice and he talks about the stuff that Marjorie does, Steve will not change it for the world. Because Marjorie has been pinnacle in Steve's super rise to success. And please understand that is the wind beneath his wings. Because they've been married now 11 years. And if you follow the trajectory of Steve's career, don't get me wrong, he was successful when he met her. But he has become even more successful since he's been with her. He has branched out. He's doing a variety of different things. He has expanded his brand. They have their foundation. Understand, ladies, Steve may get annoyed with his wife because Mr. Capricorn, Mr. Earth sign, and Mrs. Libra, air sign, are going to have run-ins periodically. They are like literally Venus and Mars. The difference is going to be vast. But that man doesn't care because she adds value to his life. She adds value to his children's life. As I told you guys, quit worrying about her damn past and pay attention to the dynamics of that relationship. He'll do anything for her. And don't come for her. Don't let him see, because Steve will jump on her flipping feet and go off on somebody about Marjorie. See, that's what a man does when he's got a feminine woman who understands how to be in her feminine ease and grace. And Marjorie can hold her own. Don't think she can't. She can. Marjorie's no fool. But that's it. So when I say a man is going to come to you and you guys want men to put money into you and you want men to give things to you and you're busy asking and demanding stuff from them, they may give you some stuff because they want to get to the V. But if you want to have them pour into you long term and really invest in you, then that's a long game, my ladies. That's not a short game. That's not a little thing. That's a huge thing that requires planning and strategy. And it's also about you learning how to elevate yourself, learning how to educate yourself, work on those communication skills, because communication is everything. These are master communicators you guys are coming up against. And if your game isn't right, you're going to get jacked up. Learn what they enjoy. Find out what commonalities you have with affluent people. And if you don't have any, cultivate some. Good God. There's all kind of stuff out there. Maybe people tell me, well, I don't like to do certain things. So find a couple of things you can tolerate and then allow somebody to teach you about them. I don't like to gamble. But you better believe the man that I was with for 10 years, I was engaged to, he couldn't convince me to marry him. I'm sorry. Like I told you guys, I'm just recently ready to become a wife. I have had all kind of opportunities and just was not ready to be a wife. This is a new thing for me, but I have had the rings. But there was a point to this. I'm sorry. I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh my God, you're nuts when I do that. But anyway, adding value to a man's life. Whatever thought I had will come back around. But anyway, the one I was with for 10 years. Like I said, anyway, I don't know what it was. It'll come back. But anyway, adding value to a man's life. They want to pour into you, but they don't want to waste their money. They work hard for their money, especially if they were the ones that started the business and had to have those sleepless nights, shut off electric, no water, whatever. They went through the struggles to make that money, so you're not entitled to it just because you live and breathe. Like I said, they may pour short money into you for a little bit of time. But if you're looking to be in that space of wife, you must add value to his life. You must be, there it is, the thought back. Okay, I don't like to gamble. Talking about doing things, learning something that you may not enjoy, just because it's something that makes him happy. I don't like to gamble, but my guy at that time loved to play craps. We'd go to Vegas, and he loved to play the tables. He loved to play craps. I'm like, okay. I don't gamble. I'm not into it. I only like slot machines. I'm just not into it. But when we went to our first trip to Vegas, he was so excited to take me. We were going for like 4 days. And he wanted me to at least experience playing the game. He goes, would you at least try? I'm like, and I'm easygoing. For the most part, I'll say yes. I'll try almost anything once. I told him, you know what? I'll see. I go, okay, I'll give it a try. Why not? And he was so excited about me wanting to learn how to play this game. He literally went out and bought a miniature craps table. Yeah, a little one. It was not tiny. It was a decent sized board thing. And he literally was explaining to me what the dealer does, what the dice are about, how to place the numbers, what the colors meant. I mean, he spent like 2 weeks coaching me and telling me. He's like, and also if you're not sure about something, you always ask the dealer. He goes, and once you get there, because you're new, he goes, people that have been playing for a while, they'll gladly assist you. He goes, it becomes like a community at these tables. I go, that's kind of interesting. I go, okay. So he was so excited. He was so excited to have me standing by him in Vegas at this table, playing this game that I didn't know a damn thing about. Even with his coaching, I did okay, but all he needed was for me to be there. And I did. I stood with him maybe for an hour or two. And then finally I'm like, you know what? And he gave me money. He gave me the money to gamble and whatever. And the money I won was always mine. So anytime I won money, it was my money and my money. Yeah. And so I played with him for a couple hours because he would be there all day. He literally would, literally would. If he was on a winning streak, I might not see him for hours. Hours he'd be there. So I told him, I go, you know what? I'm done. And he was so happy. He was happy. And I didn't have to play anymore the rest of the time we were there. I got money from him. I did go play slot machines. I went shopping. He would take a break. We'd go out to eat, go, do some shows or whatever. But all I had to do was show an interest and allow him to teach me, to allow him to share his joy with me. See, that's adding value to a man's life. Now, when we went back to Vegas again, did I play? No. But I go watch him play. Sometimes usually when we first got there, I would go to the tables and spend some time with him at the tables, just being his good luck charm, so to speak. But I guess I'm just not a gambler. It's not my thing. But it was okay because I had at least tried the activity. Golf. He was really, really into another one. Him and my last one were seriously into golf. If I could explain to you guys what a horrific golfer I am, I suck. Oh God, I so suck at golf because I'm not going to take lessons. I don't want to learn how to play golf, but I will go to the driving range. I have a great swing, great shot. All that stuff looks great. I look really cute on the driving ranges, and it's fun. By the way, if you guys want to meet affluent men, go to the driving range, and I got news for you. They will gladly help you perfect your swing. It's kind of cute actually, but I will go play at least one round of golf, if nothing else, to convince them never to take me again. Because it's like, oh my God, you're terrible. Like I told you. I go, did you thought I was lying? I like watching golf, periodically. I go, but I don't like playing golf. I go, I like the 19th hole. It's called the clubhouse. That's my favorite spot. And they just laugh at me and then give me money and I go to the clubhouse. Just saying, ladies. See, because in this process, one of the things you offer and one of the values you add to an affluent man's life is the fact that you bring him joy. You are his pleasure, one of his pleasure points. Rather he find that pleasure with you than some other woman. Am I correct? So even if it's an inconvenience, because some women feel that way, it's like, such a bother, then you know what? You keep dating broke men, or you keep getting short money from rich men, because you'll never be able to enjoy the process of being with one long term. Because it's about give and take. I don't like take. It's about give and receive. You must understand how to be flexible. You must be open-minded. And you must educate yourself. One of the things I love, like I said right now, is like I said, I'm doing the bringing back the 6-week Courtesan mindset 6-week masterclass. Just finished one up a couple weeks ago. Definitely starting one. It's going to start again on February 2nd. I am posting the link. The early registration is going to be available until Saturday. So if you guys are interested, click on the link that'll be in the description box and get yourself signed up for it. Because the early bird special registration will end on Saturday and then the price goes up on this coming Sunday. But I'm doing it again because, here's the one thing I'm loving also about this. Is I told you guys, when I checked my demographics or who is the largest group of women that watch my videos, it showed me the age range of 25 to 35, which kind of surprised me. I was like, wow, that's very interesting. And then when I started getting emails and seeing the comments under the videos, a lot of women are saying that I'm like the mother they never had, or something that I share things that they wish their mothers would have shared. I'm sometimes the auntie that they wish they would have had, they never had. Whatever it is, I'm in that space of which is great, of an older woman who actually is giving them information and knowledge that's going to help them have better experiences. Cat, what are you doing? Oh my God, I swear to God, this cat is weird. I'm going to post a picture one day so you can actually see this little boy of mine. He's something else. But anyway, so I'm very flattered. I mean, I really am. That is such a compliment. And then the next age group is 36 through 45. I believe that was the second largest group of demographics that watch me. Well, what I didn't know was and I discovered this in the first class that I taught for the Courtesan mindset. One of my students was 18. And I know she listened to the videos. And I just had a new one sign up for the new class because I told her she learned about it yesterday. And she's 19. And I'm like, this is so awesome. And there are reasons for wanting to learn this stuff because, at that age group, there are certain things, I'm very careful with them because they're not super experienced when it comes to life. And I want to make sure the information I'm sharing with, as I do with all of you, is great information that is going to help you be aware. And what they have both essentially told me was they were interested in taking the course and learning and working with me because I was offering the information in a way to help them understand men and not be in that position of being taken advantage of by men. They were going to learn communication skills with me. They knew that they're going to learn how to actually develop their self-confidence, and they understand how men think because both of them are in college. I think one's a freshman, the other one is a sophomore. And, on campus, and I told them, the professors are chasing you down yet? I go, because I remember when I was on campus, my freshman year, good Lord, I had 2 professors that drove me nuts my freshman year because they were always trying to get me to go out. They're always trying to turn me into their sugar baby. And I wish I knew then what I know now. I would have done it. But back then, I wasn't thinking. This wasn't my headspace back then. But I love the fact that they're trusting me to guide them so they have successful experiences as they venture out into the world of reference to men. And one of them, and these 2 young ladies, they're so wise beyond their years. One of them said, she goes, and I know she listens as well. And like I said, you guys, both of you, mwah, I adore you. You know that. We've talked about it. But she was saying she has heard so many older women that are bitter and angry about their situations in reference to men. She goes, I don't want to be that woman. She goes, I don't want to be that woman. She goes, I'd rather understand now how to do this and do this right so that she can have positive relationships with men and understand how to allow them to pour into her. Isn't that awesome? I mean, here you have 2 young ladies, 18 and 19, that have more wisdom than some of my older ladies do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not ragging on those of us that are older because, life experience, it is what it is. This information wasn't available for us when we were younger. I told you guys, my stuff, there wasn't these kind of videos. Hell, YouTube wasn't even around when I was younger. I don't think it was around. Matter of fact, I know it wasn't around when I was younger. You didn't have this kind of stuff available. My information came from life experiences. I learned from the men that I dated, from the fact that I studied women's history, and because I studied non-traditional women, I understood the concept of being a woman who actually stands on her own and is in that feminine space and relates to men in a certain way that encourages men to actually stand in that place of protector, provider, and champion for a woman. I've learned that over the years, and once again, because I have had so many men in my life in reference to big brothers, quote unquote, protectors and champions. I've been very blessed when it comes to the masculine in my life. But I think that is so cool. And that, they are willing to invest in themselves to get the right start before they venture off into the world of dealing with men. Because they know they're young, they're beautiful. They know that they're going to be in the target of a man's scope, so to speak, because they're young and beautiful. They're untouched. They're untainted, so to speak. I told them, use that to your advantage. And you better believe I'm going to teach them how to use it to their advantage. So, if you guys have been thinking about working with me, like I said, private coaching, private tutoring, I told you guys, I love, love, love working one-on-one in the private tutoring. Absolutely. Because that is more detailed. Yeah, like I said, you guys have my undivided attention, throughout the course of anywhere from the coaching runs. I have two main packages I work, because I just added one for the matchmaking edition, because I told you guys I'm starting to do the setup now. The matchmaking service is not available yet. There's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes that need to be put in place before I can actually officially open it. But I do need to start, gathering women are they interested in being part of it and getting the details together that I want. So I have one of the private tutoring courses is in reference to the millionaire matchmaking, getting that set up, and then the other one is predominantly on communication skills and some other stuff. So one runs for 10 weeks, another one drags out. I don't want to say it drags out, but it lasts 6 weeks initially for the main coaching, and then there's a photo shoot included in that, and there's time spent down here in Florida working with me over the course of a weekend. So that one's a little different. But like I said, but still, love the private tutoring. But that's going to be an investment. You're going to make a real investment in yourself to do that with me. But I told you, I love being able to do the 6-week master classes because those are a more reasonable price point investment for women. But it still offers you, like I said, the opportunity to actually speak to me. Because as I mentioned before, when I do the classes, they run for 90 minutes. And it's going to be running, like I said, starting on February 2nd. They'll run from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 2:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time. First hour is me teaching. Last 30 minutes is Q&A. And I'm laughing because I've done I've done a couple of these classes now, and one group was very chatty. They had lots of questions during the other one, and the other class they were quiet. They were very, very quiet because they were listening, taking notes, but they would email me, between the calls, which was great because we had our conversations mostly through email. So it's like I said, so it kind of goes with the flow, and the energy is different with every class, which I love. I think it's fantastic. But we do, like I said, the 60-minute, the 90-minute, the 6-minute training, 30 minutes of Q&A. You guys have homework assignments, audios, workbooks. There's a variety of things. Matter of fact, like I said, when I post a link, I'm going to recommend you click on the link, and the outline for the class is actually there. Where you can actually, there's a video you can watch on it, and then the outline is underneath where you can actually take a look at what the class is going to entail. Because how I do it is we break it down, and you guys are going to learn how to find your specialty, how to understand how to have that conversation that's going to inspire a man. Because I told you guys, you want to be a man's muse. Muse is a position that you want in a man's life. Marjorie Harvey, Steve's muse. Michelle Obama, President Obama's muse. Pickett Smith, Will Smith's muse. These women offer inspiration to these men because these men love these women, are in awe of these women because of what they bring to them and the stability and support that these women offer to these men. Because the three men I just mentioned are very driven men and highly successful in their individual fields. One is the President of the United States. One is a talk show host, a game show host, a radio show host, an author, a published best-selling author, and Steve's all over the place. Accomplished man. And then, of course, Will Smith. I mean, look at Will Smith. He started out initially as a rapper, wound up on TV acting, and then winds up being in blockbuster movies. And Jada has been there through most of it because I believe they met on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's where they first met. So she has been with him since the beginning of his transition. We can talk about LeBron and Savannah James. Savannah is his muse. And they've been together since high school. So we got a kind of variety of situations there. And all the couples I've talked about have been together over 10 years. Over 10 years. So that's longevity. That's relationship. That's understanding how to be in that feminine space, that you understand how to relate to the masculine in a complementary way and hold your own when you need to. Because all of those men I mentioned are very, very strong-willed men. Not a one of them's a pushover. Not a beta male in the batch of any of those four men. They're all alpha males. Hardcore, driven alpha males. And their women are very feminine. Even Michelle Obama. She's still, like I said, she's still a very feminine woman. even though her career has been on a semi-masculine track. So, ladies, what about you? What do you want? I always come back to that question. What is it that you desire in your whys? Like I said, I'm here to teach you guys the next level, the next steps. I mean, we're talking beyond just meeting these men, putting on your makeup, doing your hair. Of course, once again, beauty is important, absolutely. But I'm here to teach you the skill sets to be able to actually really attract these men to you and understand how to relate to them in a way that benefits you as well as them. Because I'll say it again, I'm only for win-win situations. Like I told you guys, if you're looking to try to scam a man, no way is anything I teach you going to do that. I don't believe in it. It's too much work. When it backfires, it's ugly. So I'd rather teach you guys how to do this with sanity and safety, and in a way that's very gracious, in a way that is very appealing for you and for the men that are going to cross your path. So if you are ready to finally get out of any rut you may have yourself stuck in, and you want to really take yourself to the next level, go ahead and sign up. Get in on that early registration for the Courtesan Mindset Masterclass. Like I said, it's a blast. I keep doing them because I'm having so much fun with them. Because here's my thing. Once I stop enjoying something, I stop doing it. Yeah, I'm a brat. But here's the deal. Not really a brat. But I understand if I'm not passionate about it, I'm not going to be able to give 100% to it. I have lived long enough. I have paid my dues time and time again on certain things. I'm allowed now to do things that bring me pleasure. And that's the space that I sit in. And that's why I love doing the things I do in reference to Wealthy Wife and my other business. But especially Wealthy Wife, because she's been my main focus lately. So if you're ready, like I said, the masterclass is a sweet, sweet price point. It's an easy investment. I give you guys options. Go to the website, check it out. I am hoping to have you guys join me in this class. Spring is going to be around the corner because the class will finish up in the middle of March, which means you guys will start having a game plan, some conversation skills in place so that when you're going out there, as the weather gets nicer up north and you guys are actually out meeting men, that you'll have your stories and your personas and your be in that space of really honoring and understanding how to present yourself in a way that showcases your unique beauty and presence. Strategy, strategy, strategy. I love you guys. So, like I said, stop sitting on the fence. Get yourselves enrolled in the class. Yes. I'm looking forward to having more of you in the class. I really am. This is going to be a fun time. So until we talk again, you guys know who this is. It's Cindy Sofia, author of Wealthy Wife, Meeting, Dating, and Marrying a Rich Man. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.